Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 3 o'clock news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. After last night's election results, it could have an impact on the government shutdown moving forward. But with it now in its 36th day, there's real no end in sight when speaking to congressmen. NBC's Alice Barr has more from D.C. and hopefully some hope on a government shutdown end possibly soon.
Victory parties late into the night for Democrats sweeping key races, hoping to gain momentum against the Trump agenda.
Thank you, my friends.
In New York City, Zohran Mamdani won big on promises of rent freezes, free buses, and childcare. President Trump had threatened to cut off funds to the city if the Democratic Socialist won. In his victory speech, the new mayor speaking directly to the president, telling him to turn the volume up.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him.
In neighboring New Jersey, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill becoming the state's first female Democratic governor, also speaking against President Trump.
This nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings.
As Virginia voted in its first woman governor, former Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger.
Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship.
And in California, voters approved a measure to redraw congressional district lines to add more seats for Democrats, countering Trump-backed redistricting moves in red states like Texas. The president weighing in.
If you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans.
As some senators suggest, Democrats may take their wins as an off-ramp to end what is now the longest ever government shutdown as soon as this week.
I feel very confident.
That as the transportation secretary warned the strain on air traffic controllers going without pay could bring mass flight disruptions and partially closed airspace if the shutdown stretches into next week. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, thank you very much, Alice, for that report. We now turn to your weather not before we turn to your weather forecast. Actually, we want to turn to a story out of Washington where a man was arrested for armed robbery. Last Wednesday, Washington police officers were called to the Tractor Supply on 15th Street for a report of a theft. Police say upon arrival, employees at the store told officers that the suspect had implied that he was armed with a gun. Following an investigation, police got warrants to arrest 26-year-old Tyrese Starkey. Starkey was arrested by police on Monday. Warrants say Starkey had reached into his waistband, telling an employee, quote, "Your life ain't worth it," end quote. Now, warrants go on to say that Starkey stole a chainsaw, trimmer, and a trimmer blower combo that cost in total more than $750. Now, Starkey was charged with robbery with a dangerous weapon and felony conspiracy. He was taken to the Beaufort County Jail and is currently being held on a $125,000 bond. And now we will update you on your forecast. Looking again at beautiful sunny skies across the east today. We've got a southwesterly wind that's doing us some really big favors as far as our heat goes. Yesterday we were in the mid-60s. Today it's 70s. And those 70s aren't going to be sticking around. Well, they'll be back. They'll be back. We're actually going to be cooling down later on tonight. It's hard to see, but you can kind of track maybe a little bit of cloud cover there across Kentucky, southern West Virginia, and northern Virginia. That is a cold front that's going to be moving across eastern North Carolina early tomorrow morning. I know it's difficult to see, but that also highlights the fact that we're not going to see any rain out of this system. Very, very weak. But a cold front nonetheless, and a cold front usually does a very good job of at least adjusting our winds. So for tomorrow, instead of a southwesterly breeze, we are looking more at a northeasterly wind across eastern North Carolina, and that will drive air temperatures back to the mid-60s versus what we've got right now, which most of eastern North Carolina, at least inland areas, right now are between the low 70s to the mid-70s. Not to worry. If you're a warm weather fan, it will be back. Right now, again, we've got our eyes on Pitt Greenville Airport. The Goodyear blimp has been seen across parts of the east. It's expected to land at Pitt Greenville Airport this afternoon. Air temperatures right now in the low to mid 70s throughout most of the east. A few of us still, again, hanging on to the upper 60s. Certainly warmer than where we were yesterday thanks to the southwesterly wind that right now is actually pretty blustery. Most areas between around a 10 to 20 mile an hour sustained wind, and we do actually have two areas a little bit outside of that range on the upper end. 21 mile per hour sustained wind in Roanoke Rapids and Stumpy Point. So the breeze is certainly there, but the winds will be shifting more so early tomorrow morning than late tonight. This is a picture by the time we get to around 11 p.m. tonight, and we're still seeing more of a west-southwesterly breeze across the east. Then we fast forward to tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and lo and behold, there you have it, northerly winds. And that's going to bring in those cooler air temperatures that will have us maybe reaching for the coats by the time we get to Friday morning. Now, Friday will be, again, another warm day, but we are going to start out cool on Friday and then warm up thanks to some southeasterly some southeasterly winds and some sunshine that will again take us back at least into the mid-70s. For this evening, air temperatures slow to cool. 63 degrees by 6 turns to 60 degrees between 8 and 9 p.m. Upper 50s planned for 10 and 11 p.m. Early tomorrow morning, we're back in the low 50s. 7 a.m. temp, 52 degrees. Back into the low 60s by 10. And just that not even 9-degree jump from 7 to 10 a.m. so minimal that it should really put tomorrow's heating into perspective. We're really not going to be getting all that warm. Looking at the mid-60s for tomorrow afternoon. Northeasterly winds should come in at about 6 to 12 miles per hour. So here's kind of a breakdown of how it's all going to be playing out. High pressure over the east kind of fades off into the Atlantic. Cold front moves overhead later on tonight. No rain with that system, just a shift in the winds and a push of colder air into eastern North Carolina. But with an incoming high pressure system on Friday that will move off the coast Friday afternoon, that will reinstate more of a southeasterly wind flow and bring us some more of the 70s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it's that cold front further back towards the west Friday morning that again will be moving in Sunday evening. In fact, here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. It is going to be a very strong front, strong enough to drop air temperatures by about 25-26 degrees from Sunday into Monday, going from 79 degrees by the tail end of the weekend to 53 degrees for your high on Monday. And that's not even the end of it. We'll be down possibly below freezing Monday night into Tuesday morning, and that marks our first alert weather day for a potential freeze and most likely at least a widespread frost across eastern North Carolina's inland locations. Highs on Tuesday, on Veterans Day, only 49 degrees. It's going to be quite the adjustment we are going to make from this weekend into the start of next week. But you know, it's also just your classic eastern North Carolina pattern. You can go from pretty much summer one day to winter the next. And that's pretty much what we're going to be feeling coming up from Sunday into Monday. Now, obviously, we're also going to be talking about more of the rain showers over the next few days as models try to really work out that equation. Right now, going a little bit light on the amount of rain expected to fall here in eastern North Carolina. I'm anticipating a little bit more than what they're showing. Right now, we've got about a 60% chance of rain tacked onto your Sunday evening, Sunday night. Some of that rain will linger into Monday morning, but the threat of severe storms right now not really there. We'll see if that changes, though, over the next several days. Anyways, that's all we have time for today's 3 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.